Hello everybody and welcome to another Spark of Genius Flesh and Blood production. This is Eric and I am joined by Nia Tran, the first battle-hardened winner for the battle-hardened Toronto at Anime North. We just finished about an hour ago or so where he took it down on Icelander and Blitz. Myself and Rob were commentating on that, casting on that. So if you want to check out the replay of the cast, a couple of Nia's games were streamed, including the final game. Check that out on the Carta Magica TV Twitch channel. And with that, we're going over a bit of a deck tech. We'll do a bit of an interview portion a little bit later on, and that'll be attached to the video where you'll be able to see Nia in the flesh and blood, but really on a camera, so don't worry about it. And we're just gonna go over the deck. So this is, especially if you're going through your skirmish season coming up for Blitz, this will be a really helpful kind of deck tech to see how this deck plays, a couple of the key cards, and a couple ways that you two can bring home the Ice Queen. And we're gonna take it away to Nia. So Nia, let's go through Icelander just very briefly. Why is Icelander good in Blitz? Like just Icelander in general, or like the hero ability and stuff like that.
Just being able to always be able to play something on your opponent's turn, like giving them a frostbite if you play an ice card is just like insane. Like she makes you play so many blues because of her ability, which just allows you to always be able to cast the things you want. Almost everything in Wizard blocks for 3. The stuff that isn't blocks for 4. There's a few ice cards that block for 2, but they're still blues.
Yeah. So it's got like a really good like tempo game plan. It's very flexible. Okay, that makes sense. So we're gonna go over the equipment first. So why don't you break down the weapons first?
The only weapon I'm playing, and I think the only weapon that you should be playing in this version, which is the control version, is Waning Moon.
Yep.
If you're on the aggro version or like the more arcane version, I think you play Kraken. Crucible.
Crucible, yeah.
But yeah, I think this weapon in control is just so good. Like,
yep,
it does everything.
Okay, let's go over like the main board equipment that you'll run in most matchups.
Most matchups, you're gonna be running Cornet Peak. This card's awesome. Blocks for 2, gives you tempo if you have an extra blue in hand because you didn't have to block as much on your opponent's turn. Tunic, self-explanatory, gives you the resources. Ironhide Gauntlet, you usually have 1 extra resource up on some turns, so you can just use that or use Tunic to pay to block 2. Just being able to block for 2 is nice because I don't think there's anything else in the spot that blocks for 2. And then Storm Striders has AB2, also helps you finish a game.
Yep.
You just tempo out and then you just like kill them on their turn with the boots.
That makes sense. As far as the main board, I see 3 legendaries here. Are any of these budgetable? Essentially, is there like, which one of these do you need the most in priority?
Priority is Striders.
Yep.
And then I would say probably Tunic and then Cornet Peak.
Yep.
You can get away with playing Ironhide Helmet, Iron Rod.
Yep.
Just something that blocks, but this is obviously the better upgrade.
That makes sense. Okay, so if you just happen to have Crown of Providence to slot in to block for 2,
yeah,
pretty reasonable.
It cycles a card. Look, that's absolutely fine.
Yep. Okay, so let's look at a bit of the sideboard. This is Blitz, so the only sideboard we really have is the equipment. So let's take a look at the rest of the equipment that come in and what matchups they come in for.
I put this in the deck list.
Are you trolling?
To specifically make people online wonder why I'm playing it.
Okay, so they have to watch this video to understand why you're playing this. Fair enough, okay.
There's no other reason.
Exclusive link.
Because this is strictly better.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you are on a budget, this is actually still really good.
Yep.
It's just not as good as this. In any of the AB matchups or you like Wizard matchups, you really want this.
Yep.
You don't want to be popping this to make a resource because then you're losing an AB.
That's true. And Illuvian has the AB and there's discounts you're winning.
Discounting waning is insane.
Yeah, because you can actually get the full discount. You can get like the second best discount other than Kraken's, right? Because it costs 2.
Yeah, you're charging 2 mana into it, or 2 resources into it.
Which in the mirror is pretty easy, right? Because you have so many blues. Okay, so there's the chess pieces.
Yep. Then we have Conduit.
Why Conduit?
I like it for like a really go wide matchup.
Yep.
You can pitch 2 blues to do something from your arsenal, moon them, and then still have resources floating.
Yep.
And then you can quell. But honestly, like a lot of the matchups, I really think just Ironhide was better.
Yeah.
So this could be fine. I think right now you don't need it.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. So you have your Conduit here, good for wide. Got the Quell. And what are your last pieces of equipment there?
So we got a Nullrune Hood.
Yep.
This one's fine.
Okay. This one's legitimate.
This one's legitimate.
So it comes in with what matchups?
You want it against Icelander and you want it against Kano.
Okay, Icelander and Kano. And the last card here,
So I forgot my Metacarpus notes at home, so I'm playing a no root gloves. This should be Metacarpus nodes.
Yep.
It's strictly better.
Yep.
I'm dumb.
Reasonable. Okay. So Metacarpus comes in when?
Metacarpus comes.
You usually
in,
run on Ironhide, so
Yeah, Metacarpus comes in like obviously the Icelander matchup
Yeah.
and the Kano matchup.
Yeah.
I think you also have to bring it in against Oldhim.
yeah, just
Because-
to get that extra, get over the top. Otherwise,
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so that's equipment here. Let's go over the main 40 card deck. So we'll start with the reds and kind of go through a little bit about why. If there's like a specific key card or a tech card, you can save it to the last card. And for the other cards, you can just kind of be like, when is this card good? Is there a specific combo you're looking for? Things like that people should be aware of when they have this card in the deck.
Yep. So we have Aether Hail. This is the best ice red in the deck.
Yep.
It's
1 for 4.
It's 1 for 4. Then you can moon them, so you have 3 for 6.
Yep, that makes sense.
Blocks for 3. It's great. You can boots this in on their turn. They get a frostbite.
Yep.
Very good. Then you have Ice Bolt.
Slightly bigger.
Card's fine. Good to start out with at the early game. Good to end games with. But in the mid game, this card's just a block 3.
Yeah, it's too expensive, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Freezing Point. This is a 3 for 5. I don't think I fused this a single time today.
Nope, but you did come in for 5 a bunch.
I did come in for 5 a bunch, and 3 for 5 is really good at ending games when people have AB3.
It's not bad because it's arcane.
Yeah.
So part of that's true damage, essentially.
Yeah,
Right,
and then if
so-
not, it's a block for 3.
Yep.
I actually boots this in and killed 4 people with it today. So this.
Yep.
this
I think
card-
I saw a lot of that. I walked around and saw that a couple times. I can vouch for that.
This is the better version of that card.
This card's amazing.
If you fuse it and it hits, they discard a card unless they PC.
Frostfang on a stick.
Yeah.
It's so good. I don't know. It's literally arcane Frostfang. It just costs 1 more.
Yeah, this card. That's
It's very good.
I'll go over the cards that overperforms next. Syncpolo.
Yeah.
You're playing a tempo game. You want to be able to like filter reds out of your hand. You want to be able to filter for blues.
Yep. So it's mainly for the filter.
Yeah. Also block for 4. Like you're fine with playing the long game.
Yeah.
Like arcane damage is really
just
really
chip.
good. The longer it goes, as long
Yep.
as you just keep chipping them.
And you have Striders in the game.
And you have Striders.
Yeah. That makes sense. Okay.
Sigil Permafrost did really really good today.
Yep. 2
when-
reds.
Yeah.
Solid.
When it's fused, the next arcane damage you deal does. They create that many frostbites, so you can
Right.
fuse it and then hold priority. Play the card from your arsenal.
Yeah, the blue ice card.
The
whatever.
blue ice card. So the blue ice card will give them a frostbite. The damage will give them
X
X frostbites. If they
yeah.
block it all, then you can waning moon them again.
Yep.
And then that damage will also make frostbites.
Yep.
And so either they're pitching their whole hand to stop your frostbites.
Yep.
Or
The
they're
frostbites
taking-
do their job at that point, right? Because they're stopping their turn regardless.
Yeah. This card, my best.
Best performer?
This was my best performer. Like on the defensive side.
Okay.
I stopped the whole dash turn. He went high octane into attack. I went this, fused, played an ice bolt from my arsenal. He blocked it, mooned him, blocked it, used my boots, 5'd him. He ended his turn.
Reasonable. Okay. So permafrost, then we have 2.
Oasis Respite.
Okay.
You start at 18. This card brings you up 1.
Yep.
Prevents 4. It stops a whole Rosetta by itself.
Yep. Especially if you like open with it, super good.
Yeah, costing 1. That's
Yep.
insane.
Makes sense.
This is the one of Exude Confidence. Helps you keep channel. Good in the mirrors.
Yep. Cost 0.
Comes in for 4.
Yep. So what this card used to be? What were the other options for that card?
Nourishing Emptiness.
Yep.
Or Fire Breathing.
Yep.
The reason I think this one's better is
Yep.
because sometimes you just want to like not let your opponent react,
Yep.
and that could be important.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Fire Breathing you can get bigger, but this you can actually like stop them from like taking
Yeah.
tempo back with their defense reactions or their
Yeah. I guess it's also important to know like fire breathing costs 2, right?
yeah. But it does block for 3 and it does usually get bigger. But this I think the text on this card is just so relevant.
That's true. Okay, that makes sense. We got a couple more.
This is the last Reds. This was my overperformer today. It's Enlightened Strike. Everyone signs out all their armor.
Yep, that makes sense. You see a wizard, you side out.
Every mode on this is relevant.
Yep.
Draw a card. If you have a 2-card hand, you can draw a card. Then you have something for Arsenal. You have a 3. You have a 3-card hand. You can come in for 7. Arsenal your last card.
Yep.
And then if you have a 4-card hand, you can like E-Strike, go again, play something, and then Waning Moon them.
Yep, that's true.
Also, if you happen to play against Prism, which I did today, you can kill their aura.
It's pretty important, either like with like having actual attack access to people to like not insta lose to Prism.
Yeah, I killed their Merciful, and I got to play the game.
Yep. Because if you can't, you lose. Because Merciful, your Frostbites are killing you.
Yeah, it's not very merciful.
No, that sounds merciless. It's just merciless retribution. Okay, so those are the reds. So as far as the reds, how do you feel about the number of reds you end the deck as far as like the damage output, the performance? Do you think you'd tweak it? Are there any changes to the reds you'd make?
I'm on 17 reds. I think 17-13 is a really good ratio.
Mm-hmm.
I think like having six defensive slots.
You mean 23, 17,
23. Yeah, math is really hard.
Math is difficult.
I think every damage spell is worth it. The only thing I could consider cutting and like switching out for something would be Freezing Point.
Because you never fused it, I guess. So it's just a 3 for 5.
It's a 3 for 5.
Yeah, which is not amazing curve wise. So no, I understand. Yeah. Okay, what would you change? Just an idea.
Just not change. Look for another
like a spell or attack action.
A spell. I think 3 attack actions is fine. I don't think you want to go too heavy on them.
Okay.
Because then it gets a little weird. I also think these 3 are the best. I don't think you want a second Exude though.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, fair enough. So let's go over to the blues. The blues definitely being the main core of your cycle, main core of the deck, because you're pitching them, you're using them to attack, you're using them to activate Moon because it's coming from Arsenal. So let's look at the blues first.
Best blue.
Why is this the best blue?
Cost 1.
Yep.
Is an ice card.
Yep.
And comes in for 2.
Mm-hmm.
So cost 1. So if you pitch a blue, you can use Waning Moon and still do this.
Yep.
So that's
1 blue.
Yeah. So 1 blue. It's 5 damage. They get a Frostbite.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Also blue and blocks for 3.
Reasonable. All right.
Frosting.
Yep.
This card's fine. Like it's a blue block 3 for most of the game.
Two frostings, right? Yeah.
Yeah. 2 frostings. Yeah. It's a blue for most of the game, but like if you Arsenal this and you have the 4 block, it's just a Frostbite.
It's true. It's just a free Frostbite, and you're doing 3.
Yeah, like this card's not bad. It's just not stellar.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so the 1 for 4 better on curve on average than the 0 for 3. The extra damage and the
0
1
for 1.
The 0 for the 0 for 1. Yeah.
And the 1 for 2.
Yeah, sorry, I was thinking of the 1 for 4 and the 0 for 3. Yeah. But yeah, the blue. I'm thinking of the blue version here. Yeah, the 0 for 1 and the 1 for 2.
This card did really well today. Having Tunic or having some sort of mana generation allows you to do this plus Moon. And 6 damage plus giving them a Frostbite is really, really good.
Yeah.
On other turns, a little Axe Luster, but that's why we played the Sigil Permafrost and we played the Oasis Respite, because having that 1 extra resource with this does a lot.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, that makes sense, because you can still pitch and Sigil an Ice Bolt.
Yeah, it makes a Frostbite on their turn.
Yeah. Pretty good. Okay, so you got 2 Ice Bolts. So you have the 0 for 1s, you have the 1 for 2s, and you have the 2 for 3s.
Yeah, and then the card that did really, really well today was Emmer's Scolding.
Why is this card in the deck? It's not Ice. It's Wizard. So why is this in the deck?
It costs 2, but
yeah,
if it's on your cast on your opponent's turn, it does 4 damage instead.
2 for 4 blue, pretty good. Blues, yeah. Arcane. Okay.
2 for 4 blue, like
blocks for 3.
Does everything at once.
I see a reoccurring trend here. Okay, makes sense. So Emeritus Scolding blues, 2 of those. What's the next one?
We got either Ice Vein.
Yep.
This card's really, really good. I don't think I cast the blue one very much today.
Is that like you're mainly pitching it? Just happens to be your hand, or
I think it just happened to be my hands.
Yeah.
But like sometimes if like you play the matchups where they have less resources, this card just could eat them.
Yeah, that's true. Would you prioritize? I guess it depends on the matchup. Would you prioritize having an ice blue in the arsenal or that in the arsenal?
I usually would prioritize having an ice blue.
Because of the frostbite.
Because of the frostbite. Also, this in the later game, like if you're pitch stacking it, this in the later game is just better.
That's true. Because you just get the tax.
And I can boost this in because it's a wizard.
That's also true. Okay, makes sense.
Ice Eternal. It didn't do a whole lot.
I saw you mainly just pitching it.
It's
not really your win con. Like you're not really trying to Frostex kill them.
You do have the win con of Frostex.
You do, but like it's not. I didn't personally see you trying to do it that much.
I didn't have to.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Like not having to do it was great.
Yeah.
But the big win con is you put 2 of them on your opponent.
Yep.
And then you can play one of these from your arsenal or boots it in because it's a wizard card at the end of their turn, and then it makes this many frostbites, deals that much damage, and then deals it again.
Yep.
So and then again. So that's the big like OTK combo if you could do it in their end.
Yeah, it's important to like try to tax them a little bit before you do that, because if they just have a bunch of blues and pitch, it's kind of awkward.
Yes, because you can AB this.
Yeah, you can AB and it's a single source. So AB 1 on each frostbite for the frost hex. It'll just be like it's the same as Rune Chance.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a little bit easier to tax them with like Ice Vein if you can. It's a lot of resources, but it's generally a little bit easier to do that. But I definitely understand having the alternative win con is very, very good, especially in Blitz, where people just kind of mash their heads together and see who comes out after. But okay, that makes sense.
This could kill Littleton.
Yeah. No, it's true. That is like, you can't thaw is the only thing that gets rid of that right now, and
you can't
only Fire Drum High Draconics. So
there's the one of blue sigil Permafrost.
Why one?
We have 17 reds that I think almost are all necessary.
Yep.
And I think adding rather than adding like a red or anything like that.
This was the cut, I guess.
It's the one blue.
Yeah. Well, sorry, the second blue was cut. Like that was. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think there was like a blue block 3 that I wanted or another ice card that I wanted because this text is relevant.
Yep.
As well as it's just a blue.
Yep. That makes sense. Okay.
Arctic Incarceration, it's a blue that costs 0, it's an ice card, and it creates a Frostbite on play, so on your opponent's turn you can play from your arsenal.
And they get two Frostbites. It's so good. It's such a good card. I saw it so many times. Such a good card.
So good.
So good.
Hypothermia, super good card, against a lot of the decks in the meta.
Yep.
If cards don't naturally have Go Again,
they don't gain Go Again.
They don't gain Go Again.
By any means.
Played against a dash, they boosted, I responded with this.
They boosted to nowhere.
Yeah, it also costs 0.
Yeah, so they boosted, and you just respond that they have to get rid of the card, but they don't get the Go Again.
Yeah.
It's just oh, I don't know.
And then we got Cold Snap.
Yep.
It costs 1 if you play it from your arsenal.
Pretty good.
You draw a card.
It's like a good cycle.
It's basically a free Waning Moon.
Yeah, because it turns off Waning. It doesn't have to do damage.
Yeah.
You just have to
so you
play
just
the
pitch a blue, pay the 1, pay the 2, and then just 3. Then you draw the card. The bottom line of text doesn't really come up.
No.
Or the top line of text, freezing their arsenal. It doesn't, but...
You have Conduit.
It could.
If you have Conduit, it's a thing.
And then the last card is Channel Frigid. It can't be
overperformed.
Overperformed in the top 4.
Even though it's like a good card to begin with, it's still overperformed. Dirty card.
Yeah, I played this into a Kasai, used Exude to keep it, and then it just won me the game.
Imagine needing to blue to eat through this, and your deck barely runs blues because it's Blitz.
And you can play it on your opponent's turn.
It's like they do the math, and you're just like, no math. You just.
The worst part is they get a Frostbite when you play it on their turn.
Yeah, so it's even worse. Everything just costs like extra 2 on the first one, and like 1 on. And you just keep it alive forever because like you have so many ice cards.
Yeah.
Because you're not like Oldhim where like you don't have that many ice cards, so keeping it alive for more than 1 turn's a pain. Yeah. You have a ton of ice cards because you actually use them for other things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like a lot of your blues are blue ice cards, right? Yep. So that totally makes sense. So that was the deck. Appreciate Nia for breaking this down in this beautiful Spark Genius match, which she was also playing on. Very, very nice in texture.
I did play on this all day.
And so with that, if you have any questions for Nia about different kind of matchups or things like this was just a deck tech. We'll talk a little bit more about matchups and things like in a more interview kind of setting. This was just a deck tech, so everyone can have this deck that Nia worked hard and slaved on here, practiced with. And with that, do you have any shout outs for maybe anyone who maybe you tested this deck into someone like 50 times or something, or any pointers or anything that you'd like to give a shout out for this battle hardened winning, this hardened deck, this battle hardened deck?
To be honest, I played a lot of games with Sam. He's a Woodstock local, one of the locals to me.
Yep.
Really just ignited my want to play the deck. And then Hayden also from Woodstock. He had a list that's very, very similar.
Yep.
And it's just I think his reasonings were very good. So if I had to shout out, it'd probably be those 2.
That makes sense. So this deck list will be in the description, FADBB description. Mm-hmm. So feel free to take that to your skirmish, take it to your armory. It's a very fun deck. I mean, I played it a couple times. It's definitely one of the more unique decks in the format, I would say. It takes a little bit getting used to. Playing on your opponent's turn will take, if you have not played Prism or Kano before, it is a different mindset to be able to adjust to. So don't pick up the deck and kind of stumble a little bit and think that's it. I would encourage you to try the deck a little bit more, kind of understand the ins and out, and really know your matchups and your lines, and the deck gets a lot more fun, in my opinion. And obviously Nia's opinion, because he brought it in a lot, right? So with that, appreciate everyone for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I know a lot of you wanted deck techs along with CC and draft gameplay, so here's your deck tech. You can't really ask for more than this from first place battle hardened winner here. So hopefully everybody appreciates this. And Nia's time, if you have any questions for him, feel free to leave them in the comments. He may or may not care and may or may not respond.
I'll respond.
Okay, he said he'll respond. Leave your comments in the description. So your comments in the description. Leave your comments in the video, and he'll get to them. And with that, from wherever you're watching in the world, have a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Bye for now.